All right, we're going to finish up this week with acids and bases, which we started last week. You're going to be doing an experiment with cabbage, which is purple cabbage, which is a natural indicator, which we'll get to down here. Indicator is something which turns colors according to whatever its pH is. But acids and bases, just a little background. Acids are anything that produce hydrogen ions when placed in solution. Okay, so they produce that ion. That makes them an acid. Bases, okay, are substances which produce hydroxide ions. Oxygen, hydrogen, okay, that's a base. Okay, common between acids and bases, they both are reactive and corrosive, but both can be. Okay, so especially strong acids and strong bases, they're very useful that way, or harmful. Okay, bases, stuff like Drano is a really strong base. And then in industry, they used a lot of hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, which can be very, very reactive and very strong. Okay? But there are also weak acids and weak bases. Characteristics of acids, they taste sour, right? So there's just common things which are, you just pick up anything like vinegar, you probably know that is acetic acid. In Coca-Cola, if you look on the back of Coca-Cola, it says phosphoric acid, so there's acids in there. Got this little thing of diced tomatoes. Okay, if you look on the label, it's citric acid. Then here's a little pineapple orange juice. Has vitamin C, and vitamin C is actually known as ascorbic acid. So crucial to have those. Here we go, a little packet of raw chicken. Okay, you may not think of that as being acidic, but you think about proteins. Proteins are made up of amino acids. Now, matter of fact, the molecule of life is, you probably know, is DNA, which is deoxyribonucleic, that's right, acid. Okay, DNA, the A is for acid. Common cleaners in your house are usually some sort of a base. So, very useful in everyday life. Okay, but now, as far as how we rate whether an acid is strong or weak, or base is strong or weak, they use what is called the pH scale. Okay, so that's telling the strength of the hydrogen ion. So it's basically on this acidic scale. Okay, on the scale it goes from 0 to 14. Okay, in the middle is 7. 7 would be considered to be neutral. Okay, so pure water would be neutral. Okay. As you go lower on the scale, lower numbers, it becomes more and more acidic. And as you go higher than 7, you get more and more basic, or alkaline. Sometimes they call bases alkalines. It's a logarithmic scale, which means every time you jump one number, it's 10 times difference. So if you have something like rainwater, you may have a pH of 4 to 5. Let's say it's pH of 5. If you get more acid in the clouds and so forth, more acidic rain, it may move down to 4. Difference in one pH, that's actually a 10-fold difference. So 10 times stronger here than here. If you went from 5 all the way to 3, it would be 10 times 10 or 100. If you went from 5 to 2, it would be 10 times 10 times 10 or 1,000 times. So it's exponential scale. Okay, so that's the way that works. So the lower the number you go, the stronger the acid. Okay, the higher the number you go, the higher the base is. The stronger the base is. All right. You test acidity with what is called pH paper. Okay, that's called litmus paper. Litmus. It's a type of indicator. This week you're going to use a different type of indicator. Indicator is actually an organic compound that changes colors. So you'll be using cabbage juice, which I believe with cabbage juice, neutral is purple, but as you get more acidic, it gets red, and then if you go to more basic, it gets kind of green, greenish yellow. All right. So those are indicators. Okay. So for our purposes, litmus paper is really commonly used in the chem lab. You would have used it if we were in class. It turns red. Litmus paper turns red with the acids and blue with bases. All right. Now, cool thing, acids and bases, they can be very reactive, corrosive, both of them, but if you put them together, they can neutralize each other. Okay, so this common reaction is called a neutralization reaction. So when you add an acid to a base, it always produces a salt and water. Okay, so if you look at it here, this makes it an acid, it's H. This makes it a base, OH. Now you get HOH, that's H2O. So you get water. And then you combine the positive ion of the base with the negative of the acid, KBr, that is a salt. Okay? It's not NaCl salt like table salt, but it still is considered to be a ionic compound or a salt. Right? So that's called a neutralization reaction. So to do that correctly, you need to add the right amount of acid and base and bring it to a pH of 7. Okay, so you can use litmus paper, or there's other pH scales or pH meters, and you can add an acid, which is really strong, to a base, which is really strong, and if you bring it to a pH of 7, they neutralize each other and you just get a salt and water. All right, so there's a sheet I want you to finish this week for this class on the assignment, acids and bases. Also do the cabbage juice and have fun with that. It's kind of cool. And we will talk to you next week. Thanks.